How much is that Tilly in the window? Well, hopefully she won't have to stay home for too much longer. Who knows? Who knows? Found out today that these old fuel lights are still operational by the looks of it. The 7-litre one came on anyway. So here we go, up the test road. Sorry, that's me with my clumsy foot. Still getting used to these, how narrow the bike is, and there's a crow. I'll tell you about this in a minute as we go along. Well, you can't stop progress, eh? Not that long ago there was only an old tyre there. Now they're starting to build a tree house. Those kiddies from Forbes. Cattle over there. They've also built themselves a bit of a gunya there. That would have been chilly if they slept in that overnight, the kids. I have to remember where to put my foot on the footrest to change gear on this bike, because they're slightly rear set. And certainly, you know, certainly rear set in regards to, in comparison to the Harley, you know, which are more or less forward controls on floorboards, you know. So poor old Tilly, not happy to be home by herself. Well, she's not by herself. I gave her instructions. I said, you stay home, look after the house and look after Keith. You get back inside. That lammy there. Interesting. Which way do we go today? We might go up to the Yarrabandi Road. handling like a dog. It's curious, it just wanders all over the shop. I wonder, I really do wonder. It's just terrible. I'll tell you what I've done. And I reckon there's a break in the frame or something somewhere. You're gonna have to look at it properly. I don't know what the last video was I put up, but I decided to jack the sidecar up again and have a look at the sidecar rim, you know, and stuff, and I found a lot more play in the rim than I'd previously realised, you know. I think I'd looked at it before when I'd already taken the rim off, but the rim off, there was quite a bit of, with the rim on, there was quite a bit of movement. Still wandering all over the place. Anyway, I'll just ride for a minute. Better keep an eye out for the skippies. It's handling badly now, but a different kind of badly. That makes any sense whatsoever. Now instead of weaving and stuff, it's wriggling. It's sort of go like this a bit. I mean, okay, I can put the steering damper back on. That'll help, or at least put another kind of steering damper on. Better keep an eye out for skippies on this road. My local mob crosses around here and backed up the other end there. very interesting. So I took the jacked the sidecar up. Found a fair bit of play in the rim. You know, quite a few mils each side, sort of thing. Took the rim off. Still moving around. Don't know how I missed that to that extent before. So I decided to have a look at, you know, the drum and brake and backing plate and stub axle and torsion bar setup, and I pulled the drum and brake off, and you could still see plenty of movement, you know, behind that, so that wasn't moving. Backing plate wasn't moving, which would have been an easy solution. Then I took the stub axle mounting. That was moving quite a bit still, so I took that off. And once I took that off, I thought, okay, the rest of it doesn't seem to be moving. So it's clearly in that stub axle assembly that mounts onto the torsion bar. So to cut a long story short, what I discovered was that I couldn't get the bolt that was holding that assembly onto the torsion bar spline. I couldn't get it any tighter than what it was. But this is the bolt. It's quite long. It's longer than it needs to be. But as you can see, the rod is only partially threaded. So what had happened was that the thread was bottoming out, so I couldn't get it any tighter. So I just replaced the bolt and with another one, and the play is gone. So that's fixed that problem. So I was thinking, oh, you know, winner winner chicken dinner sort of thing. And I don't know why I'd say that, except my brother used to say that. One of those things you say when you've got kids, I suppose. Anyway, so put it back together, and here I am test riding it, and it feels different. It's not doing that weaving thing, but it's still wandering all over the place. I put 30 pound in the front tyre, 30 pound in the rear, 15 or 20 or something in the sidecar to keep it a little bit softer. Now I wonder, okay, first thing to do is probably put that steering damper back on, or put another one on. I'd like to put something a bit lighter, something for a motorcycle rather than a car. See what happens with that. I've got a Coney rear shock that I can try. I can also probably try adjusting these front shocks. They might be too hard or too soft. It's a bit hard to tell at the moment. But I've made two major changes to this bike, as in put the spacers and bolts back in 4 places in the subframe, which should stop it flexing, and took all that play out of the wheel, which was doing this. It was really moving, and particularly once you got it to the edge of the rim, like 15 or 10 plus inches, whatever it is, it was getting a fair bit of movement up. So it's a strange scenario. So I would have thought that would go a long way to fixing it, and it's gone some way to fixing it. But it still doesn't encourage me to ride it fast. That's for sure. Or ride it far. So I have to start thinking about this. Decent rear shock, although I don't think, I wouldn't have thought there was too much wrong with that. Maybe it is. Maybe there's other flex and movement going on too. I'll have to start looking at probably steering head bearings and swing arm bearings, I suppose. Somebody came along and stuck a BMW Motorrad BMW Touring Club of New South Wales sticker on there. It's a while since I've been a member of them, but I am again rejoined recently. I was thinking I might try and ride this up to the Farcan rally in September. That doesn't give us a lot of time. Just sort this bike out. Yeah, I don't know what else it can be now, as I keep saying. I'll have a look at those couple of things, you know. Setup can be revisited now. Probably got too much toe in, so I can play with that a bit, you know. But it's just you know, sidecars move around. You get that, you know. But you just got to go with the flow, as I have said in the past. But this is more than that, you know. This is it's just I have to jack the whole thing up, I think, and make sure there's not a break in the subframe, the chassis, you know. And you can see over there in the distance the canola's starting to come along. What's today, about 5th or 6th of August or something? You'd think it was a bit early, but what would I know? Yeah. Hey. That's it. Yeah, so on and on it goes. You know, I suppose I was expecting a big result. Well, I think what's happening with this thing is that it's a case of multiple small problems or something. I don't know, you know. It shouldn't handle this badly. I'll stick that steering damper on again, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like the back end now, it's wandering about. But it doesn't help that the roads are crap, of course. But that's Australia, you know. It's got to deal with that. I'll never forget a few years ago when Kerry and I went over to Germany and then Portugal for a visit. You know, we went to Leipzig for a couple of weeks, you know, of course, which is where I used to live, as you know. And see, it's wiggling now. Rather than wallowing, it's wiggling. I suppose. Anyway, some friends of ours came and took us out to Colditz and a few places, you know, for a drive in their BMW, and I couldn't believe how smooth and beautiful all the roads were, like all the back roads, the B roads, you know. Like, I'd driven on them when I lived there before in the early 90s, of course, and most of them were still cobblestone, but now they're beautifully made and finished and blah blah blah. Not like Australia. You get a lot of these ripples and stuff in Australia, mostly because there's not a good road base, you know. Wandering all over the joint like Brown's cows again, this bike. Oh yeah, is that a... oh no, I thought it was a car coming. I thought, oh help, I better make sure I don't wander across in front of him. I mean, that has certainly helped. Now I can ride at 70 instead of 50. Yeah. I think I'm just going to keep riding it for a few days and experiment with a few things, you know. Maybe experiment a bit with tyre pressures and, as I said, put that steering damper back on. I don't like steering dampers in principle and in practice, you know, like with this one, it seems to really make it steer real heavy, you know, and reduces its turning circle significantly. However, we'll see. As I said, probably got too much towing. Now it's sort of, it's frightening to ride, but it's not terrifying to ride. Well, not at these speeds anyway. You can see that taking the play out of the back wheel has also stopped it shaking its head as much. I always look for another gear. I've never ridden a sidecar that wanders as much as this thing does. It never sits still. But it's not lurching now as much. Well, I feel like I'm riding a kind of a bucking bronco. A gentle one, of course. You know, it could be. Well, I should look at swing arm and stuff just to make sure it's not wandering about too much. It was supposed to rain yesterday, it just didn't happen, but we still had a really big fog this morning. Yeah, so I was thinking about taking this and Tilly up to the Farcan rally, which is a long ride from Gyra, but it's not far from here at all. I just do an overnight ride up there. I better ask Al Pennykid if you know, if dogs are okay. I imagine they probably are, because he's got dogs. So we're making some funny noise. I'm not sure what they are, whether it's sidecar stuff in the sidecar or what. Ah! It's really terrible when 80 kilometres an hour feels quite fast. It's just amazing how this waterline round is just not going away. When you get home, Plunky, stick the other mirror on, for fuck's sake. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I wonder. I think there probably is a little bit too much toe in, but you can feel the way it drops away when you change gears, you know. You'd have to say it's an improvement. Oh, that's right, they're working on this road to Forbes, aren't they? I came through here yesterday, or whenever it was. Yeah, yesterday. Ooh. I wonder also if everything's just too stiff, the suspension, you know, for my weight. The bloke who put this sidecar together, the outfit together, is a bigger bloke than me, I think. So maybe he's got to set it up pretty stiff. I don't mind things moving around a bit and stuff if it's kind of predictable or consistent, you know. It's possible the steering head bearings need replacing. I should probably do that anyway. Third gear sounds interesting. Oh well, I've got 2 spare motors and gearboxes. Yeah. I always say dramatic things, don't I? You know, like, the fucking broken frame. Well, there might be, but it probably isn't. I think it's just setup and stuff. I'm still not entirely convinced about that rear wheel adapter, whether that moves around a fair bit as well, you know. It has the potential with 4 pieces instead of 1. Well, I better go home, I suppose. Tilly will have the shits well and truly by now. That bloody dog. Not saying she runs my life or anything, though I suspect she runs my life. Oh, I've got a family, or a couple, a pair, you know, of echidnas have come to stay. Oh. And they're living under the house. That's really cute until about 2 a.m. when they're going through their mating rituals or whatever they're doing. You can hear their spines hitting against the floorboards, you know. They're protected, and this is termite territory too, so I'm happy to have them around to eat white ants, you know, for sure. Although the white ants have had 100 and something years to try and eat the hardboard frame of the house. That's not working for them, you know. But anything else that's not hardwood certainly gets a workout, you know. Yeah, so I don't know, what do we call that? Some sort of a win. You know, I can ride it without being utterly terrified.